Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Solix44. We're back playing Craftoria, and I'm just going to do this one as an update, really, because I have to, because I needed to make sure that people understand a little bit differently on how to do the thermal evaporation system with the boiler and whatnot. I didn't make a mistake, but there's an optimization that I didn't know about. Someone commented about it or will let me know on the side, and that is that I made the boiler not wrong. I just made it less efficient. So I wanted to cover that. You might have seen it in the background there. So let's cover this real quick. All right. So first and foremost, you're going to see that this is now running at 193K FE a tick. And that is only because that's all the energy that it needs. Basically because I got another system set up as well. I'll show you what I mean. I got kind of cranky with the way this was doing because I kept on running out of water no matter what I did, etc. You notice I upgraded the pipes all the way. I also put two inputs in for superheated sodium and upgraded these pipes as well. But if you notice that there's an air gap right here, that's actually the steam container, okay? So by doing that, I increased my steam tank. It doesn't show it, and I wish there was a way for that to go. But if you look, it says max steam, 11,520,000. That was not nearly that big before until I added this gap. You don't have to have that gap. It'll just, especially if you're pulling steam straight into a turbine, but it provides for more room for more steam. So I was having issues with water, so I just made it taller. And I just basically take the dispersers and I move them down one level, and it decreased the amount of water that can go in, but it severely increased the amount of steam that you can hold. It's not that big a deal. It just something that I did to increase it. This actually is my second system. I'll show you what I mean. Ta-da! This one is my new one. I have the advanced electric pumps running. By the way, I did blow up my fission reactor again because I added this to the system without turning it off, and don't do that. Just make sure you turn everything off, let it cool down, then add your stuff. This one holds 38 million steam and 4.4 million water. Way more, way more. And then there's this bigger turbine. Now, this turbine, I'll put it at 6 so you can see. Oh, let's take the limit off. All right, so this is what it produces on a regular. 1.35 million FE a tick. Incredible. Right? Absolutely insane amounts of energy coming from this turbine. It is not even nearly maxed out. It's going to have the limiting factors here. Max production, 11.26 million FE. I can make yet another fission reactor, and I might do that off camera. Because right now I am maxed out. I maxed out my fission reactor. Also, let me talk about this fusion reactor. Okay, the fusion reactor. I didn't know this, but yeah, you change the injection rate as high as you want. It will not melt down. I was super scared that this heat thing right here was going to be a problem. No, it's fine. It never blows up. The only thing that you can run into issue with is running out of fuel. And I'm not burning even close to the amount that it's going to cost me. This is not normal for regular Mekanism. These are with the add-ons because it has Mekanism extras and because it has this advanced electric pump. You can do this setup right here to make sure that you get enough deuterium. But yeah, you can see it barely moving, right? So this is never going to run out. As long as this doesn't run out of power, and it's not gonna. I'm never gonna run out of power. Not with this setup here, and definitely not with this. This thing right here, it produces 14 point something million. I wish I could. There we go. 15.68 million FE a tick. That's what it's producing. So I'm never going to run out of power now. I did change the settings on these because no matter what I do, I'm not producing enough polonium really to hurt it. What you're going to look at when you're looking for this is what this tank here on the left side says. If it's maxing out somehow, that'd be different. And I might do another tank. Oh, that's our second pellet of antimatter. Um, yeah. Well, I'm only getting 8 millibuckets of polonium. It's not for the speed of this either. It's literally just my fission reactor that's not able to keep up with the production. So let me show you the maxed out fission reactor. It's not maxed out, but it's pretty close. It's just my design is not good. Well, my design is not maxed out. This is as fast as this thing can go. 81 millibuckets per tick. That's just the size. It's just not big enough. Yeah, I replaced these with it blew up, and so the casing. Yeah, I had some casings left over, so I went ahead and just used those instead of the reactor glass. So 81 millibuckets a tick. Make sure that you're not outputting too much. Like this is also a secondary. I might need to put another one in if I was to try and go higher, but I tried to take this to 82, and when I tried to take it to 82, it actually took damage. So this is it. And I mean, like, the moment that I go to 82, the coolant drops and it starts, I think it's just the temperature maximum. I think that's the key factor is that this temperature maximum can't go over a certain amount for the size that it is. Right? I don't really know all of this math stuff. I'll be honest with you guys, sorry. But if you look, it's in the dark orange. So 81 millibuckets per tick. This is faster than my Aldemods 10 reactor by quite a bit because I was using just water for that one. But I upgraded these. And if you look at these pipes here, they're filling up with sodium. And that's because I had to turn my sodium production back on again. I don't have to have it on now. They could just stay the way it is. But I'm going to let these pipes go and fill them up. They're also not necessary for me to have this many inputs. But I had those already, so I just went ahead and used them. Just make sure you have the settings correct. Your waste output, this is my one nuclear waste tank. I'm not going to say I don't like the way that's set up, but that's the only way that you can move waste around as far as I know. And then I have that entangle blocked into the other world, the other generation world. So I'm keeping this separated. It was a good thing I did because when this blew up, I got radiation sickness. It wasn't cool. Radiation sickness sucks, by the way. You can't get rid of it. Yeah, so we're running 193 on this one and 1,000,000 on the other one. Plus the fusion reactor is running. And this is all, my whole system is running completely autonomously. I have the dissolution chamber here running continuously as well. I haven't, let me go ahead and show you guys that. I upgraded some of these. One of the cool things that they added to this as an add-on is this stack upgrade. And I think what it does is it allows multiple different types to be inside the inventories at the same time, but I don't know. It never seems to have that issue, but I sped it up, and then I did the same thing, I think, for this one here. Yeah, I added the stack upgrade. And then I wasn't getting enough hydrogen chloride to it very fast enough, so I had to increase the speed on that. But it's able to keep up now. Everything is running smooth. This doesn't have, look at how fast that is. It doesn't even need to be upgraded to max. This one, I upgraded it to the advanced. I mean, it's doing just fine. So all my ores are being processed and turned into ingots. They're not even dust anymore. Well, the dust is staying same, right? So like I still have plenty of dust. If you look at my raw ores, I'm gaining. And uranium is one of them that's the problem. Like I was only doing that for uranium. Can it stop raining? Let's take a cat nap. If you're playing the game and you're having the ashes come about, the ashes are coming from when you sleep and the phantoms die. and they burn. So antimatter, salt. We got antimatter. We have 2 pellets of antimatter. We need 3 pellets of antimatter to get our mech suit to be able to fly with the non-elytra flight, the anti-gravity unit. And that's the main goal for that. Everything here, this is the only thing that is constantly running. And because of the constant processing of my ores, the chlorine is constantly being used. And then of course the sodium is going into that reactor and filling up those pipes. Now, once that gets full, I'm going to turn off that part. I'm going to make this so that it's just dumping, not dumping excess. And then that way this will just dump out and then it won't produce extra sodium. And then we're going to actually, at that point, we'll have too much brine. But right now the brine is going to stay where it's at. The only way to increase the amount more would be to build a bigger fission reactor. And like I said, I think I might do that off camera. I'm really tempted to go ahead and see that. I just have a concern with the fissile fuel. Like I don't know for sure if the fissile fuel will be able to keep up. It might, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm producing enough fissile fuel right now to keep it completely full. And this whole that's all done in another dimension. I'll show you guys that if I didn't show it to you before. This is just fissile fuel. Can you see it? Oh, hell, I'll go inside. This is all just fissile fuel. And it's full. Now, I do see uranium oxide. It's dropping. And that's because I have that whole entire ore processing system separate from my uranium setup. And you'll see that the uranium gets turned into yellow cake uranium. Slowly, okay? I don't know, for whatever reason, it's having issues sending this uranium ingot to where it needs to go. I haven't quite... Matter of fact... Oh, stupid. All right, wait, hold on. Here we go. Oh, this uranium oxide tank is feeding my brilliance and stuff. I'll show you what I mean by brilliance. That's the upgrade for Mekanism in this pack. It should be sending this. Oh, that's right, yellow cake uranium. For some reason, it's using not all the dust. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a glitch where the replication system. So what they did was they tied manually. They made recipes for extended industrialization. A modern industrialization has this extended thing. Well, they have a replication system for modern industrialization, and it's supposed to be like a lot faster. But like I said, I don't like this mod that much. It's just not my thing. Because you have to build a multi-block structure for everything, and they did a really, in my opinion, they did a bad job of explaining how that works, and I just don't really want to go there. Look how fast this is. That's how fast that is to making uranium. And if you see, I canceled it. Every once in a while, you'll see the uranium going in here. Now, I had uranium in the system, and you all saw that. I know you did, right? So why it's not automatically sending that there, I don't know. So let's find the absolute enrichment chamber. No, wait. Let's find the deal. I want to show you guys my setup for brilliance and all that stuff because that's important. All right, I added another subsection over here. I know this is a mess, guys, but it's still very compact. That's the idea, was to keep this very compact. All right, so this is for brilliance and for thermonuclear. My lava tank here is also in the other dimension inside of an entangled block, feeding the, what do you call it? Pressurized reaction chamber? No. What is it? Infusion. Yeah, I'll show you guys that. Here's my pattern for brilliance. And this one is getting the enriched radiance to keep it full for the pressurized reaction chamber. This one is to get my thermonuclear alloy, and that's connected to an enriched thermonuclear ultimate infusion tank, which is also enriched infusion. So let me explain by walking you through the this process here. That's a little bit easier, I suppose. All right, so starting off, we have our uranium oxide that's full, right? So we have that tank in the other dimension that's constantly feeding this with extra. All right, so once this is full, it stops. So it doesn't need any more. So the rest just goes to the fissile fuel. Then when I want to make brilliance, enriched radiance, I'm sorry, radiance, not brilliance, radiance. I may see brilliance. When I want to make enriched radiance, I tell it to send a glowstone to here, and it'll make more. I was going to have this set up so that it always made radiance on a regular basis, but when you do that, I have it going into the ME system on the bottom, so it would have basically destroyed all of my glowstone, and I don't have an infinite amount of glowstone. That's an actual error on my part. I have a lot, but I don't want to rely on the replication system because the replication system is super slow still. It just can't keep up. Okay. Um, yeah, so that's how I keep my enriched radiance in here. And I have the output coming from the AE2 system telling it to always send enriched radiance here. So as long as this is full, it stops. Okay, so it's never going to have any kind of issue with, basically it just stays full. And when I want to make the radiance, it just sends one piece of atomic alloy here, and then it becomes a radiance alloy. The next processing part was for enriched thermonuclear, and that's done through always keeping this full of netherite, which will then fill this with thermonuclear, which is then sent over here. And then I have an output for always keep enriched radiance into here. And as long as that's full, it stops. And then my enriched thermonuclear, what I did was I put a entangled block over there with this and have the external storage set up. And then when you do a storage bus on there, you just partition the storage with just the enriched thermonuclear. So that way the system thinks that it always has a full amount of thermonuclear. And then I have an output for an entangled block set to this infusion factory and have it exporting enriched thermonuclear here, so it always stays full. Once it's full, it stops because it doesn't have anywhere to go. I don't know. There's probably a lot better way of doing this, but it worked out for me pretty well. So I can, on demand, when I want a thermonuclear alloy, it will then send the radiance alloy here, and it'll become thermonuclear. And then, of course, the output's over here. So let's go ahead and put the encasing, or the facade, I mean. I also created a skystone extractor so that I could have skystone. I didn't know I needed it, but I ran out of skystone because I was trying to make the quantum. There. This is just for aesthetics. I don't know if it's not really necessary. I think it looks better than just pipes. There's already so many pipes. Oops. Oops. Now I uncovered this because that's the interface that everything goes into. I don't know. I think it looks a little better than having it just open. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. If you download the world when I finish it, you can change this however you want, you know. My entire power system is completely full except for this energy nitro thing right here. I'm not worried about it. These systems running so slow now that it doesn't really matter. The reactors take care of everything else. But I think that's a pretty good power setup. That goes all the way through to nitro, so yeah, I think that works pretty good. Now, my QIO, I did manage to make the time dilating, one of these time dilatings. In order to make the next level, I have to have more antimatter, and like I said, I only have one thing of antimatter, or two things of antimatter. That's not enough to really get the juices flowing. Did I not put antimony on? I didn't. Well, that's because it's for modern industrialization. I'm sure some of y'all are going to want to see modern industrialization go all the way through. I'm not going to do it. I really am not. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's the whole entire thing. How are we doing? We're doing on time? Good. All right. For all accounts, I could end this whole entire mod pack right now with the way it is, and I wouldn't be unhappy. Maybe my frog is still doing good. Little froggy. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I had 25 of those. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. We're still growing the amounts. Okay, I wanted to talk about that real quick too. The frog light system that I have is actually really, really slow. Right? As soon as they fall, they go. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to have all this craziness. You just have to have powdered snow. I have up there like conveyors and a spawner and spikes and all that stuff. If you put powdered snow all around, and it has to be powdered snow all the way around the spawner with the magma cream and the magma slimes, they will fall into the snow. They take snow damage permanently, and then they eventually break up into smaller. And then if you put a gap around it, just a one block gap, the bigger slimes can't fit through the one block gap, and they will fall around the outside. Some of them will die on the inside, and they become. Make sure you just have a vacuum system of some kind. You can put what I thought about was you could put hoppers all the way around it. So you have in the middle, you would have your spawner, hoppers all around the bottom, all facing inwards and down into a collection system for your magma creams. So that any of the small magma slimes that die, they become magma creams. You'll have that collection also, which you can then turn into magma blocks or something like that. Um, then leaving that one gap around the outside, most of your little guys will eventually move away and they'll fall down and then they'll get collected by frogs. I don't have hardly any frogs in here. On the private server, I have an absolute ton, and I do mean a ton of frogs, and the frogs are collecting up all the small little magma slimes and turning them into frog lights. I have probably four or five times what I have here on the private server. But on the private server, we have mega upgrades for our chests, like we do on here, but they're a lot easier to get, and they never run out of space. They basically infinite space. Perfect. Now I gotta put structure stuff underneath this so that it looks a little better. My lightning rod thing works great to stop my area from getting hit by lightning. For some reason, that was happening. Not anymore. What the heck? Yeah, that looks kind of janky. Well, whatever. Yeah, so that's basically it. If you guys have questions on how to make the thermonuclear, that's very confusing sometimes. It was for me. It took me a whole day of just dinking around with it, trying to figure out the best way for me to get it on demand. That was my thing, was getting it on demand. Right? So now I have the alloy set up. Now I don't have the next level. There's yet another level. So let's see. I'll show you with radiance. We'll just make 10. Right? So you have to have all the way to atomic alloy 100% automated, and then you automate your radiance, then you automate your thermonuclear. It sends it over. Now this right here will take a second, but it will output the enriched radiance until it hits 64 again. So it's not a perfect system. My netherite ingots, those are being generated by the replication system and by Thurgy. I really think that Thurgy slept on. It needs an add-on. So if you guys are a programmer or you know somebody that's a programmer, please put something in to make Thurgy faster, and then everyone will use it. I swear, if you put in some way of accelerating it, the soul surging doesn't seem to really work. I really doubled down on the soul surging, thinking that it would work, and I even made I made a whole bunch of blocks of entangled blocks, and I added soul surging to it to see if it would actually, double the speed. It doesn't. From what I could tell, it doesn't. So yeah, this is it. This one's weird. I guess it's because the amount it makes. So for any of the infusions, well, any of the compression factories, these right here, or even the enrichments, all you have to do is when you put your outputs, however you set it up, I did mine with the tangle blocks, but you could do yours however. You could put the AE2 system right next to it or whatever. Just have the extra output set up. You could do it that way. You could also use a advanced pattern provider, and the advanced pattern provider will then tell you which side to put it in. So you could like keep a stockpile of your various different extra add-ons, like the chemicals needed for those, and then you could say, all right, input from this side, that side, whatever, inside your pattern. So you could just make it as you need it. But for me, it's always been better just to go ahead and have it full, right? So like having this enriched redstone completely full is a thing for me. In 112, way back when, in version 112, if you did that, the AE2 system had a problem where it would constantly check the output, and that would create tick issues. I don't know if that causes issues now. So if you do know, let me know. I know how to work around it, but for me, it's better just to have it full all the time. It makes it for faster processing, so that way it just sends. So when I want to make alloys or the circuits, I just send what I need when I need it, and this stays full. I don't know. It seems to me like it might be the same thing as like hoppers used to do, where they would cause tick issues. But everything is running stable now. I don't have to worry about anything running out. No wither getting out. No, none of that. My Iasnium Golem is still over here. He's still Jumbo. What's up, buddy? You doing okay? He's still doing his thing. He's keeping my area clear. Slimes are going to be piling up, unfortunately, because as soon as slimes form, they don't care about light level, apparently. So bear in mind, that's a thing. This setup here is not ideal. I don't know what to say about that. I should have figured out a way of automating the miner, and I might do that. I don't know. I have to figure out how to do it. It's going to be slow as crap no matter what I do, right? Like that's a manual. They force that to be manual. The facades still don't work for the logic cables, unfortunately. I don't know what. I have no idea why. My processing over here is still running, but because my ores are all going, except for uranium, I have uranium here. Yeah, it's still it's still processing to making the dust, but it's not really fast. But as you can see, this is pretty quick. So I'm never going to run out of ores. One single laser running the whole entire thing, coupled with a Thergy system that constantly runs. Let me know if you guys want me to do a full tutorial on that. I think I can do a Thergy full tutorial now. I'm pretty knowledgeable, I think, on that now. I changed the priority on this to make it so that this is higher. But that's only because I have this set for all. That's what that plus means, pick up all. Don't forget to do that. I did. It's just a bad idea. It'll void your stuff if you don't. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? Oh, copper nuggets. I have those going into the replication system now. I don't know where I was getting all the copper nuggets from, but 42,000 copper nuggets sitting in the system. What a waste. So I'm just going to have it turns it into 1 and 1 for precious and for metallic. So yeah. And I mean, look at all these ores I still have left over. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it, guys. I think that covers all the stuff I did. Oh, I increased my water. Not my water, but my matter. The hell? Yeah, I don't want those on there. Cable facades. I'll add all that stuff when I decorate. So my matter condenser is no longer making no longer making singularities, right? So your singularities, can I spell it right? Your singularities are made in a different two different ways. You can either have it sent into the matter condenser and it has to go all the way up to 64,000 items or something like that. This it says all the way up to 256. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not using that anymore. I switched, yeah, 256,000 per item. You have to have a 64K inside here, and it makes a singularity. Or you can change them into matter balls. And so you get matter balls faster from what I saw. So I went ahead and I have the inventory storing up matter balls. And right now it's at 28,000 matter balls, and you can see it's ticking up pretty quick. I use the advanced electric pumps and one matter condenser. I'm going to make it 4 matter condensers because I want to be able to make the quantum computer. And what it'll do is these matter balls get converted to singularities faster than making them the other way. So that's how you're going to get your quantum alloys and your singularity systems, things that you need to make your quantum computers and stuff. That's just a matter of time, right? Like I just have to let it run. So when I want to make my I'm almost there. I have the structure materials. I have the crafting units. I'm gonna probably put more crafting units in it. I have the quantum computer and it's in the back doing its thing. I have one quantum storage, which is fine. I could go to the 256 maybe. Yeah, I could go all the way up to the 256. I increased the amount of my Certus and my Certus quartz. And I have this constantly making at least no less than 64 glowstone. So no matter what, I'll always have 64 glowstone so that way I can make radiance. This right here, I find this to me is kind of ingenious. I want to toot my own horn, but what I do is I increase this amount and then to increase this amount back and forth. And what it'll do is it'll crush the needed amount of charged Certus into dust, and then it'll use that. Actually, it crushes Certus quartz into dust, and then the dust is then used to make more of itself. So basically, you just walk your amounts up and up and up and up, and that way you can get to the amount that you need. So like, I'm going to increase this another. Oop, another 1,000, and then it's going to start making more. See, it'll walk back and forth. Once it makes enough of this, then it'll charge it, then it'll make more, then it'll charge it. And then you can walk your amounts all the way up to whatever. The only limiting factor is going to be your Certus quartz dust. I don't have an infinite amount of Certus quartz dust. I think I have 2 extractors constantly creating more dust for me. So the dust will go up and then it'll go down and it'll go up. But if you ever run out, just go ahead and take a bunch of Certus, increase your amount of Certus dust, and then just keep walking your amounts up and up until you get to the amount that you need. I think what I'm going to stop at is somewhere around 40,000 of each, and then I will have enough to create all the quantum I need, whatever. I'm going to set up an automating system for my intro crystals as well. I can do that on camera if you want. I added a accelerator to make this grow faster. I got to be really careful when I break these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a breaker. I'll use just dire things, and I'll put it under the ground here. I'll have it break only the intro dusts stuff, right? And then I'll just have I think I'm just going to put an exporter onto this and have it constantly filling that with I think it's ender pearl dust. Yeah, ender dust. So then, and I'll put a crafting upgrade on that, and it'll automatically craft and fill that up. Once that's full, it'll stop. It's basically the same thing as running the compressors and such. Hopefully that makes sense. This, however, becomes non-useful because it's using the storage space of these right here. These are 256 buses. They're not filling up. This is a mega. I can make those at will now. And then if I run out of space, I can always add more drives here. I know this is a really quick me chatting kind of thing, not showing you anything more than what you probably already know, but I wanted to cover my stuff I did off camera because it's not fair to me to say, oh, look at all the stuff I got, and then not tell you where I got it from. That's kind of the whole point of the whole thing. But yeah, these extractors are, in my opinion, they're my favorite passive growth item in the entire modded Minecraft community anymore. I love it. I have it on the private server, and I think it's amazing. So yeah, now it's at 31,000. Right now I can walk up let's see if I can take this up to 30,000. And now it will take from here and make more here. And then when this is low, it'll then start making more here. Right. So that's what I mean by walking up the amount. So you're just going to keep going until you have enough that you can do whatever you want with it. It's not going to, yeah. Yeah, it'll never run out. But, well, I hope not. Hopefully. And then at the end of this video, since this is the end, I wanted to show you my plans. Now, I do plan on making this look better. This was just a storage space that it doesn't quite look good to me. It needs more. I'm going to add banners and different things from it. I wanted to add beacons here. Uh-oh, I think I crashed. Oh my God, I crashed. I crashed out. Hey, that's it for the day, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Love you, miss you. Take care. Bye-bye.